Welcome to a new episode of the Ink Panels Graphic Novel Book Club. I am Dan, and as always, we have Gambit with us, which all three of us haven't been on the same show in a long time.
In a while. That is true. Oh my God.
It was a miracle that Gambit and I were actually able to get together in real life to go see the Batman and have
my
hand.
I was gonna say, what were your thoughts on Batman? But that'll maybe
there's a whole 3-hour show on it.
Yeah, that's another show. But I can tell you that I loved it. So
it actually ended up being my number one, which I didn't think it would be. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I had very minor quibbles about it.
Yeah.
Greg, Fire Guy, Ryan, and John and Carlito and I did we did our rankings of the Batman movies, in which an argument broke out during it of whether the BVS Ultimate Cut should be included or not.
I mean,
Bearded Comic Bro got real heated about the cuts and stuff. It was humorous. It was respectful, at least. And then the private chat turned into a whole other ordeal.
Fun.
I think I saw you're involved in some Kickstarter, Gambit.
Yes, I am involved in the Cthulhu Invades Wonderland Kickstarter. This is the second book. It's an anthology book. It has a shit ton of artists and a shit ton of cool writers. I have 4 pages in that book. It's called The White Rabbit. I think it's the second story in the book or something like that. It's pretty fucking cool. Just saying. Not because I painted them, but top notch. Some of my best work.
A guy that I interviewed, the artist Colette Turner's partner, wrote a book called Murder Die Senpai, and his Kickstarter did phenomenal. I believe he was 900% over. Yes,
that's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
A lot of cool extras. We're getting magnets, which I know Jen was very excited about. So very happy about it for him, especially because he was having a panic attack when he started the campaign, which I imagine everybody goes through that with those campaigins.
I mean, I have nothing to do with that campaign except the pages that I did, and I draw those pages almost a year ago. And still, the day that it went live, I was like, oh my god! And I don't do anything to it. I just post it and let people know that it exists.
Jen has been super busy between all her shows and trying to catch up on her reading, which we were just talking about backstage of. Our reading piles have become problematic, like super problematic. Jen, you're muted.
Sorry. Like I said, my washer is going off behind me, so like the final stages. Yeah. So I'm trying not to. I thought that I got my pile down to I finally narrowed it down. I was on a good track where I was reading all 20 to 30 books a week, and then the last couple of weeks, all it takes is 1 week, and you're like, well, shit, I can't read this week's books until I read last week's books. But wait, I think that there's a couple more from the previous week. So I've got a stack of probably about 50 plus books over here that I need to read. So
yeah, I'm the same. I'm reading things from last year, from right after the Hellfire Gala last year.
That's my number on my iPad is 309 issues. Oh, wow. I had it down to 105. Also, it doesn't help that I just downloaded the entire Tomb of Dracula series.
Oh, nice.
You're a masochist.
I love that series. Gene Colan's art is phenomenal. Marv Wolfman. I just love that old Marvel horror from the 70s. I blame Morbius Comics for that because he's always posting old Marvel horror, which congratulations to him. He hit 52 episodes. I showed up on his show for about 3 minutes before going into work. I was like, hi, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
I was like Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. So Adriana can't be with us. She's got some stuff going on in her life. I'm not sure when she's coming back, but when she's ready to, she will come back. We are here for her if she needs anything. And that's about all I'm going to go into that. But we are thinking of her and miss her. Also, Jen has become a huge fan of a series that I didn't think she would actually like, of our guest and friend of the show, Rodney Barnes. Winning Time, about the LA Lakers Showtime era.
Like I tweeted out, I'm like, I have never been a sports person. I have never followed sports, never played sports. I have no connection to LA, like, or California or anything. And then I started watching the show and I love it. And I don't know if it's this blend of like nostalgia for that era, and also one of my like kind of perverted crushes, but John C. Reilly.
I thought you were going to say Adrian Brody.
No, that's my partners. They were like, Adrian Brody can get it. I'm pretty sure those were their exact words.
What's up, Rashid? I had to start laughing. Rodney is in the series, and I forgot what a large man he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forgot that he said like he was a pro wrestler for a minute.
Oh shit.
He's like imposing, like Adrian Brody's standing next to him and he's towering over him.
Damn.
Rodney's always sitting, and then like the last interview we did, he decided to pull out $6,000 worth of books that he randomly bought. Right. Literally, he's like the best unboxing ever. First Elektra. He's like, I don't even know why I bought this. It was just, buying my childhood. Hulk number 3. John's going, that's the second Green Hulk appearance.
And I think he pulled out the first appearance of Constantine as well. Like, man, jealous. I am absolutely jealous.
Jen's going, those aren't reading books, just so you know.
Yeah. This is like, man, I haven't caught up on any of my reading. And I'm like, please don't, read them. I know you've already read them, but yeah. And some of them were slab too, right?
Yes. Oh, no. They were all raw.
Okay.
Raw.
Also, before we start, I want to take a minute to thank our friends over on Moonlit Comics channel with No Good Comics, Inja Binja, and Azor's Tiger. They did the Philadelphia series. They're caught up. They did a great job on it. And Moonlit wants to now do a Alan Moore Swamp Thing read through. Invited us.
Ooh.
Please.
Yeah. Like she's never read it. She's never read it.
To read it again.
Right?
Gambit bought the box set and hasn't read it.
I have the box set, yeah.
I've still been slowly like going through the Nancy Collins run, but man,
bad.
It's not at all. But Alan Moore, I think about that run every day.
Yeah, that he's gonna have a PBS course or something like that. That sign me up.
I think it's like $200, right? And it's about yep. I found out about it because my partner was like, "Hey, I think I want to buy you something," and I'm like, I kind of buy, me, like I buy what I want, and then they showed it to me, and I'm like, yeah, you can buy that for me.
Yeah, I need it.
Which Rodney brought up when we were talking to him about Swamp Thing, because it always comes up. He's like, yeah, Rom V's doing something. He's not falling into the Alan Moore trap. He's creating his own mythology, and that's the smart fucking thing to do. Don't try to imitate.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still trying to get Rom V on the show. Well, his assistant has kept emailing me, keeping me in the loop.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, which I, after she said, "Oh, well, he's booked," I just kind of forgot about it. Yeah. I'm just like, whatever. Like, I've gone through this before.
Right.
But him and Gail Simone are like my two unicorns right now.
Yeah. Rom V the other day, I don't know if you caught this, Dan, but tweeted out something that they were in a coffee shop writing the new Aquaman that's being illustrated
Christian Ward.
And he was listening to the Dune soundtrack, and I'm like, when the targeted ads hit, like I was like, this feels like a very specific tweet meant just for me.
Oh well, now the casting news for the new Dune movie comes out. I was like, please, Florence Pugh as the love of my life, Irulan. Although, like, after the Hawkeye series, I'm kind of in the, I want her to say, like, the name over and over, like, oh, because she was always Kate Bishop. So I want her to just say everybody's name constantly, the full name. Okay, so we've kind of hit everything now. Gambit,
Right.
introduce your pick.
This is my pick for this month. Is Age of Ultron by Brian Michael Bendis, Brian Hitch, Peterson, and Carlos Pacheco. I think Peterson is Brandon Peterson and
Yes.
Carlos Pacheco, right? This is one of my favorite reads ever, and rereading it this week, I was like, I thought like that it's gonna be a breeze because I read this book, I'm gonna go over it and I'm gonna remember it, and I legit just remembered certain things of it, but there's a bunch of details, a bunch of stuff that I didn't remember, and I forgot how wild it was, and yeah, that's why it's my pick for this month, and really enjoy it the second time as much as I did the first time.
I have one thing that I'm gonna bring. Brian Hitch's art is so fucking inconsistent in this book. There is some background like facial expressions that look like he just took a squiggly, was like, whatever, I'm done.
The artwork, I feel like, especially when you look at issue 1 and then you go to issue 10, it is so wildly different. And I think I hated just to kind of like throw this out there, I feel like I hated the first issue of this. And I don't know if it was like the artwork or if it was the coloring specifically, but it was way too muddy in the first issue, especially compared to the last issue. But I know the inker changes.
The inker changed 3 times.
Yeah.
The inking was a little heavy-handed. The colorist also, I didn't think brought their A game.
I think but because back then so it looks a lot like the Ultimate comics, like the Ultimates, that's which Brian Hitch was also drawing, and it looks dark and muddy. So I think they were going for that look, which is, I appreciate it. I really like it, but I can see how muddy and dark in certain moments. There's like not enough contrast and just a lot going on. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I don't know about everyone else. I mean, this is a little bit different than the topic than the artwork, but I think having read this book a while ago and then having gone back and watched the Age of Ultron, like that like a MCU, would it be phase 2?
That was a
yes
too, yeah.
I felt more confused. I'm like, wait, this person is after this, like thinking about Polaris. I'm like, wait, Polaris comes in after this. So like the timelines of having now seen like these Marvel movies and shows, the book was really confusing for me, but I still really enjoyed it. Especially, and I know we'll talk about issue 10.
So for those that haven't read the book, Age of Ultron is
different from the movie.
It's very different from the movie. That's one of the things that actually made me mad about the movie, because I mean, I knew it was not gonna be like the book, but I was mad that they used such a cool name, like using the name Civil War. Although Civil War was a pretty cool movie, Age of Ultron was not what I was expecting. I enjoy it, but it was not this. So anyways, Age of Ultron wins, similar to what you think that, not similar.
He wins without us seeing it.
Yes. Easy. And the few surviving Avengers decide to go to travel in time. Some of them decide to travel into the future and they discover that Ultron is attacking them from the future, and they decide to go to the future and try to take the fight to him, because now we know he's there.
And the past.
Yeah, and then Wolverine and what's her
Sue Storm.
And Sue Storm. Jesus, I forgot her name. I was gonna say Invisible Girl. It's not Invisible Girl. It's Sue Storm. Anyway, so Wolverine decides to go back in time, and he says, "Well, the best way to stop this is to kill its creator before
the Hitler theory."
Yeah, before he creates it, and it goes into this discussion. But when the Avengers leave, Wolverine decides to like go and do the things that he does, and decides to go back in time and try to kill and try to kill Hank Pym. Or is it Pym or is it Pym?
Pym.
It's Pym, right?
The lamest supervillain group ever at the beginning, the Intelligentsia. Like,
Dude,
anytime
for real.
the Red Ghost and the Apes, I'm just like, man, like, what are we doing here?
I don't know about, I don't know. I am not a big fan of the Savage Land. Like, I don't, it doesn't appeal to me. Like, it's not anyways. I felt like going into the Savage Land made it even more confusing. And I was like, I'm glad that the movies left this out for sure. That was.
So I hate time travel. I fucking hate it. Like, as a longtime X-Men fan, I've had time travel to death. So anytime that trope starts coming in, I'm like, oh God. And then they add in
because writers just try to put their own spin on it every time they do like time travel, but this. And I feel like after a while it just gets like stupid.
So I had that moment where a Simpsons line popped in my head from one of the Treehouse of Terrors.
Okay.
Where Homer goes, remember what your dad told you on your wedding day? Son, if you ever go back in time, don't touch anything. And when they're talking about the butterfly effect and everything, I was like, oh God. And because the future and Gambit posted a panel in our private chat of Iron Man's got a big ship. And I was like,
because
inferiority complex. He's got to have bigger everything.
It's because the way it's drawn, it's this page. So what happened was, you see how the ship is drawn and it looks like he has a big. Wait, is here now?
Hold on.
Let me. It's here. Here it is. There it is.
Yeah.
See it? The way it's drawn, it's like, come on. I couldn't help but notice that.
So all of the Black Widow, Moon Knight stuff, I could have had a whole book of just that.
Right?
Yeah.
That appealed to me more than anything else in the book. And I know that's like a weird thing, but I'm more of a street level comic fan, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
but more entertaining to me, I guess, because Moon Knight is batshit crazy and trying to hold it together, and like Nat's just like, come on, bro, like we're in the safest place in the world.
Yeah, I like that one of the issues after the tie-in issues is the story of how she lost
her face. Yes,
he lost half her face. So what happened is that they received some traces of an unknown energy signature in the Savage Land, and they send Spider-Woman.
It's a Space Knight from Rom.
And when she gets there, she finds that the Intelligentsia found the Space Knight, and they were, oh my God, what are you doing here? And they kidnap her. So the Avengers go and try to rescue her. And in the process, when they finally find her, they go into and fight this group of super genius villains that I don't know what were they thinking when they created some of these characters. It's just anyway. So they're trying to work with the Space Knight and just touching it and poking it to see what happens, and that's when the Avengers come in and say, well, we're gonna stop this party.
Yeah, and like again, this is the weirdest supervillain group ever.
Yeah, man.
And so there was a prequel to this book that came out, I want to say a year or two before, Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I haven't read Age of Ultron.
It was just like a one-shot OGN written by Rick Remender and Jerome Opina from Seven to Eternity doing the art.
Sweet.
So this is the weird thing. I totally don't give a fuck about Ultron. Like, it's just not my thing. And Kurt Busiek wrote one of the most amazing prologues where Kurt Busiek explaining the Ultron relationship did more for me in that book than the actual story itself. Like, I actually had to tweet at Kurt Busiek and I was like, hey man, like you made that book make sense.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I haven't read that one yet.
Dylan, hope you and Littlebot and the wife are doing well. We got to play Destiny sometime, bro. Just put it out there. But we're just talking about Age of Ultron that came out, which it's Rick Remender and Jerome Opina, and going through Ultron's daddy issues. Which, if there's any writer in the world who can do daddy issues,
it's Rick Remender himself.
Yes. If you couldn't tell, it's one of Jen's favorite writers. He's starting to get Scott Snyderish with the endings. He can't fucking nail them.
Really? I haven't read anything by him in a while.
I feel like that's also a what's his name? Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be off topic real fast. The Why the Last Man? Did you like the ending or hate it?
The comic?
Yes.
Or
the comic, the last issue.
It's been a while since I've read that.
I remember being satisfying to me.
Yes.
I don't remember, because I read that in like 2000, maybe 7, 8, and I have not gone back to it. Yeah.
You're kind of making me want to pick up the Nancy A. Collins Swamp Thing again, because I haven't read that in a minute.
Yeah. I'm trying to read it right now, and it's weird.
Yeah, there was a series where it was about Teeth mainly, and Swamp Thing was just basically the swamp god at that time, which I found was interesting because Teeth was older. But that's for a Swamp Thing live stream in the future, and it's gonna happen. I'm sure it is. But so the most important thing of this series was the last 2 pages of issue 10. Galactus in the Ultimate Universe.
In the Ultimate Universe,
and then Jen's most favorite.
I was gonna say, like, for me, the reason why I was so excited to read Age of Ultron was because in the last page, you basically get her stepping out with Galactus and saying, like,
why? She's like, why am I here?
She's like,
and a giant alien head.
Why am I here? And whoever did this, I'm fucking coming for you. Like, she is a threat. And I feel like I've read most of the things, to be honest, like, I feel like I've read a lot of the things with her after this. I don't feel like she's as big of a cosmic threat as, say, Galactus, but she's still one of my favorite characters. And that's more because of, like, the personal love story. And
which Marvel kind of put her kind of to the side right now. And
I've been having a feeling that she's going to come through. Did anyone else watch the Love and Thunder trailer that dropped today?
Wait, what? I saw the teaser like earlier in the week, but no, I did not.
This is maybe it might be a teaser, but I felt like it was like 1.5 minutes long.
Okay, no, I saw a 26-second teaser.
Okay, yeah, this is much longer.
Gaby's like
looking for my phone.
Go ahead. We'll pause the stream. Everyone can go watch it.
So, but okay, let's
we'll wait till after this.
Let's finish this because I want to. Let's go through this real fast because I want to see that trailer. All right. So in the process, when the Avengers stopped trying to stop the intelligentsia, is how I would pronounce it. They activate the Space Knight, and it turns out that it was, Ultron, behold my true form.
Hitch's best page in the whole book.
Yeah, man. That's a great page. Anyway, it's Ultron, and they try to fight him, but it's too late. And next page, when we go to issue 2, it's already
the
end
Thor
of
like bonging him in the head with his hammer and nothing happening was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, every time that Thor hits something with the hammer and nothing happens, it is fascinating. I like the face
the
of
alternate universe Thor, where like the hammer is kind of breaking and it's got like the world tree kind of hilt to it. I thought was good. The time travel, boy, oh boy, and then when Wolverine gets met by other Wolverine.
You know that was one of the things that I like the most about this book. So in the process, we're gonna skip some pages here. So we the next page, New York is destroyed, the war is ending. There's just a few Avengers left, and we see Hawkeye saving Peter. Then
killing people.
Right, right. But what I just realized is that Spider-Man, that's a superior Spider-Man. That is not Peter Parker, right? That is Otto Octavius, because there's an issue. There's an issue of superior Spider-Man here.
Oh.
At the end, there's an issue of Superior Spider-Man, Age of Ultron, and there's actually 2 issues of a story of Spider-Man. And it's
like this is legitimately Blade Runner at one point.
This is it's so wild. I'm telling you, man. So they finally go. We follow Wolverine to the past with Sue Storm, and they have this debate of that they're going to do this or they're not going to do that. Did you thought they were going to kill him?
Yes, Sue Storm was the one waffling and she let it happen, but I thought this was actually one of the stronger Sue Storm portrayals, which sometimes I hate that they do her as kind of the doting wife where, listen, she's one of the strongest fucking people in the universe, and I hate how she's portrayed by some writers because she's kind of a sidekick, and I can't stand it.
I think that's why I never really liked Fantastic Four, is because of their treatment of Invisible Woman, or Sue Storm, and so I thought that here, I felt like she was a leader, and I felt like she was able to have a voice and kind of stand her ground when she did believe in it.
Also, she's like, I wasn't letting you go by yourself, Wolverine. I don't it's basically like, I don't trust you. I need to be your guardian.
Yeah. I honestly thought that Wolverine was gonna stop himself right before that. He was gonna, and not actually do it. But he went back and, spoiler, he actually kills Hank Pym after first gutting him, and then goes and
also
just
later
kills him.
On, when the 2 Wolverines are there with Hank Pym, he goes, wait, hold on. You're from what? So I create something and they're like, listen, you're going to have to build a failsafe. I was like, oh no. And then Sue's delivering the message and it's so, okay, Rashid, I'm going to address this. Fantastic Four, I think, could be so much better. I love the team. I like the Thing is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Are you reading the Thing comic by Walter Mosley? Okay.
I love the fact that he's Jewish as well. Mm-hmm. They'll show you Yom Kippur and he has his yarmulke on. I love it. I think Hickman had the weirdest family run on that, where he really focused on the family instead of the adventure, although they were doing a lot. I think there's a better story to be told with them. I did read the Fantastic Four life story, which I thought was actually pretty good.
That's the only Fantastic Four I really like.
I haven't read that one, but I read the Mark Miller run on Fantastic Four, and that one was pretty cool. That's when I learned about the celebrity list, that list of celebrity that one has. That's when I learned about it. So shit, that's a thing. let me make my list real quick so that this thing is handled already. Bam, done. List ready. Before I finished reading that page, I had my list ready.
Well, we know Jen's got John C. Reilly on her eclectic list.
Mm-hmm. Steve Buscemi. Yeah.
You know what I noticed that I didn't notice the first time in this page when they go into the underground. You see here in the bed. It's not this hand, it's this hand. Here. We see here, that's Ben Grimm's head in the bed, right?
Oh.
So Ben Grimm is dead. So that's Ben Grimm's body right there. He's dead.
Well, her children are dead too.
Yep. So we're walking in probably at the moment that Ben Grimm just died. It's so depressing. And seeing Captain America in the next page just in a corner, just
is the way I think he would be. So one of my favorite Captain America portrayals, was actually weirdly at the end of Infinity War, where he's just going, oh God, no, when everybody's dusting around him. And that's kind of how I imagine he'd be. He just saw his best buddy, Bucky, just turn to dust in front of them.
I think I would be like that. I would be worse than that. I don't care. I would be worse. I go, what is happening? So
I couldn't focus during that movie because that was Sid going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, Sid is the most excitable person you can go to the movies with. Like, we're watching the Black Panther trailer and she's like looking at Michael B. Jordan. She goes, he is so pretty. He is just so pretty. Oh my God. And like the whole movie was just her, ooh, oh my God, ooh. Like, I can't even imagine having seen Dune with her when the Oscar Isaac nude scene came up.
She would have made sure everyone was being quiet.
I'm hearing great things about Moon Knight also. Like, how hyper violent it is.
Oh, wow.
When is it coming out?
30th.
Nice. So talking about Moon Knight, the next issue is focused on Moon Knight and Black Widow, which you like a lot. That you like, that page.
I love this page.
Right? Hold on. The friends and enemies, or who trust doesn't trust.
Yep.
I really hope that like we get something like this either from Moon Knight or we get to see a version of this in the movies, even though like it might be problematic. Like some of these characters are in obviously like different timeline stuff going on or don't exist in the universe yet. So.
But something like that. So Dan, what do you like about that issue so much? You know, you were
we get the reveal of Black Widow, how she's scarred, which the one thing you always have about Black Widow is that she's beautiful and dangerous. So for her to have that giant scar, and then she has that monologue where she's just talking, she's like, she hasn't given up at, like, Moon Knight's trying to talk her out of like going, which for Moon Knight to talk sanity, where in the current issues, we just saw him go to jail where he's like, oh no, I wanted to be in here because I wanted to beat the shit out of you.
No, I'm here on purpose, bro. I did this on purpose.
I'm not in here with you. You're
here with me.
But there was something about that issue that I just like because there's this weird partnership with them because, listen, in the Marvel Universe, everybody hates Moon Knight. They really do.
And I think you said this earlier, like I would have loved to see a whole spin-off series of this, like make that its own event crossover. It was good. I like the dialogue between the two a lot.
I'm pretty sure this was Bendis right before his contract was running out too, which I kind of had that weird thing of like he did this just to make sure he could get Miles in the 616.
Yeah. I think after this he did a few
Civil War 2.
I think and he did a few issues for the Miles Morales series, right? Like
I think he had given it up by then.
No. He because after this, I think he came back. I remember he came.
He
back
did when the Galactus stuff happened, and after that, Saladin Ahmed took over.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know how many issues was that.
So for me, like I had complete big event burnout because that Hickman Secret Wars and everything leading up to it when he was doing 3 Avengers books, like I was burned out by the end of that. And also the fact that they rebooted the universe before the Secret Wars ended because he was running late because Assad Ribic couldn't keep up with his workload.
Oh, that Secret Wars you're talking about. I was like, what Secret Wars are you talking about? The other Secret Wars was with Brian Michael Bendis.
God Emperor.
Oh yeah, you're talking about yeah. But I was thinking about the other one, the one with Gabriel Delotto as the artist, as the cover artist. I was like,
no, different one, but
which coincidentally was written by Bendis too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Hickman. Like which Jen, I have to say, like I saw someone have the Decorum as one of their top 10 books of the last 5 years.
I think if my guess would be that's Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. Because I'm like, man, it's not a good story. It's not, and he kept saying it's a really simple story, and I'm like, it is not a simple story. Like it is convoluted, and it went nowhere. Nowhere.
I love the one character, the messenger, but other than that, like just the way she's written. But compared to some of the other Hickman books. So yeah, like I had fatigue from a lot of the crossovers, and I think this is starting when I would say my superhero fatigue was kicking in.
Yeah.
Where at this point I think I read them as comfort food, but a lot of it, like, I don't feel gets me like Black Hammer. Like Black Hammer still, even Irredeemable, which by the way, that got optioned.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Number 1 soared up to like $50 raw.
Of course it did.
Wow. Because we did the live stream about it.
Yeah.
I
mean, we're responsible for that. We're directly
I can't wait for Tony
that.
to heat up the coffee.
Soon there's going to be an Age of Ultron movie.
Yeah, there's going to be a correct Age of Ultron movie.
I mean, so Gambit, just FYI, when we had Rodney on, he started talking about the casting a little bit for Philadelphia.
Oof.
So they have James Sr. He's got it cast. They're getting James Jr.'s soon-to-be girlfriend Joe's cast, and he would not discuss some of the other people, which makes sense. But it sounds like it's actually happening if they're casting people.
That's pretty cool. I'm really happy to hear that because that's a really, really, really good book.
I would love to see. I can't remember his name, but is it Mahershala Ali? I would love to see him. Yeah.
So the one who played in Dune, and she was also in Rose the Hat in Dr. Sleep. She was Lady Jessica. I want her to play Abigail.
Yeah.
I think she's got the look pulled off, and you're going to love the Abigail stuff in the newest issue. It was so Gambit, like, they came back from break, and issue 19, they went so fucking hard in this issue. Like, Jen was like, dude, did you guys have to go so hard? Like, literally, I'd say it was the most action I've ever seen in this book.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Gonna have to check that out.
And Jason's art is getting better.
That happens, when you consistently
He's found his groove.
That's great.
Rodney was like, he's gonna leave me. I know he's gonna leave.
Which back to Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What issue are we talking about now?
We're on issue. We started issue 3. This is when Luke Cage and She-Hulk decide to
throw down.
Yeah, to throw down, to infiltrate Ultron's base to try to get some intel. Cut. Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. It looks really cool. I really like it. And
yeah,
I like that when they start fighting, the buildings start collapsing. Like they're hitting each other. Like, really
that's how
hard.
Thick they are.
Yeah. So they discovered that that Ultron is using vision to do his thing from the future using vision, and in the process, one thing that I like is that She-Hulk is pretending this whole time that she's unconscious, that she was not unconscious at all. And she's like, okay, I heard enough. And she starts to, they start
people
to
die left and right. Like,
dude,
Luke
for
dies.
real, man. Like, this Ultron bot just goes and just shoots her in the face. Like, this panel here was like, blast. Like,
the biggest joy I had was seeing Taskmaster in this.
Oh yeah, Red Hawk destroying Taskmaster.
Yes,
because he didn't trust him. You know what I like about this page a lot? This page right here, right after Ultron kills that bot kills She-Hulk. See right here.
Yes.
And this one is this
right through the ear, no less.
It's yeah, right. It's this. It's Vision's reaction to that. It's like, she's
still there but not there.
Yes, because we forget that he's an artificial intelligence, but he has feelings and those things.
I remember the I want to say, was it George Perez or was it God, the guy who did all of the X-Men books during the Dark Phoenix run. Oh my God, why am I blanking on? No, not Claremont, the artist. John Byrne. Oh, where it was like, even an android can feel.
So fast forward we meet everyone. All these stories that seem to not be directly, connected. They all converge in the Savage Land. They all get together in the Savage Land because if someone has a plan, it's Nick Fury, and turns out that Nick Fury did have a plan, and Nick
And even
Fury...
when he's not there, he still has the plan. He's still controlling things. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and this was right after Secret Invasion, which, by the way, was... But at this time, that was the only thing I was reading from Marvel, was just the major crossover events,
Yeah.
So I was in a kick of Secret Invasion and House of M, and I was reading this, and I was looking for every major event I could find and try to read, in between issues, because this one I read it as it was coming out, and I was like, oh my god.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned House of M, because I recently read it again last year, and I feel like I don't know. To me, it felt so similar to House of M, the way that like going between timelines and going like kind of back and forth. A lot of that blended for me, I guess, in my memory, where I was expecting those moments from House of M to show up.
Yeah,
I just remember House of M breaking my heart.
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man had this happy life where it was him and Gwen, and his uncle was still alive, and then like realizing it was all a lie.
Oh my god, yeah. Let's not go there because I'll start crying.
Yeah, it had a lot of emotional kicks to it. So we get to the point where Wolverine's like, "Listen, I've seen everyone die. I'm gonna take care of shit. Like, I'm the best there is at what I do.
Yeah, let's do this."
Like, he's basically telling him, "Fuck you! I'm going and doing this. You're not stopping me."
Yeah. I'm asking for permission, So I don't know what they were thinking. They just were like, "Okay, Wolverine, you're not gonna do this, and we're gonna go on a mission and just forget that Wolverine wanted to fucking go back in time and kill Hank Pym." It's like, just leave him there, And then literally the next panel, the Avengers leave, and literally the next panel, Wolverine was like, "Well, I'm out, bitches."
There also is a weird panel here that I love where she's like, "I thought you knew I was here the whole time, Sue Storm." And she's like, "That, Mrs. Richards, and neither of us has showered in a week at least." And I was like, "Yeah, they've been hiding underground.
These people stink." Yeah, she sneaks in the time traveling machine with him, and she goes back in the past, and they see a young Nick Fury, and I like that Sue is like, "Oh, is that Nick Fury?" Like, wow. They steal his car, they go and do the deed, they go to New York, and
this is where the art changes. We have Carlos Pacheco and Brandon Peterson both doing the flashbacks. Pacheco is an artist I've liked for actually quite a long time. He did Hawkman for a while, and he has more of a classic feeling style.
Yes, and he did it for these issues. He went even more classic than his usual style, because I remember when he was doing it, when he did X-Men, he was a little bit more stylized than this. But this, even the balloon, the dialogue bubbles for Pym are colorized a little bit different.
Yes,
these pages are made to feel
like nostalgic.
Yes, like they're old pages. They look a little bit. His word balloons are a little bit more yellowish. Wolverine shows up just at the moment where he has the idea for creating the AI. It's like, "Oh shit, I just got here right now, right? So let's throw down, bitch. Wait, this way."
Quicksilver became a compelling character, Rashid. Like, honestly, like his
yes,
you couldn't really knock what he wanted to do. Like, he was there for his sister, and
I was never a fan of Quicksilver. So as we see Wolverine trying to kill Pym in the past, we see the Avengers that go to the future realizing that they are going to fail. They got there and they're like, "Oh shit, we're too close. What is this? I don't know. Where's the drones?" And suddenly they're swarmed by a bunch of little Ultron heads, and they're overwhelmed. And it cuts back to Wolverine fighting with Pym and Sue Storm's, trying to be like, "Yo, we're not supposed to be doing this, man, but fuck it."
They're when we get to the after where they failed and they end up going, back to where they think is their present, and there is a defenders team that attacks them. To get an idea of how powerful Sue Storm is that we never really portray her as, she bubbles the Hulk's head.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
he can't
yeah.
breathe. And again, like, I don't think they ever give her due. Like,
they don't give her
how powerful she actually is.
Yeah, I agree. I like this alternate timeline Wolverine. He's like, well, he smells just like me, and that's not good.
And then Wolverine, the one we're following, rakes his back. He's like, "You'll heal." Like,
yeah. Yeah, that was apparently was a visceral, brutal fight. It's like, I'm gonna end this, and just destroys him and walks away.
And then we have Cable wearing Cyclops's.
That it wasn't until a few issues later when they
said it was him.
He was Cable. I thought it was a version of Cyclops. And
I should have looked at the metal arm. I didn't pay attention because I just saw the goggles and just moved on.
Yeah. Same with me. I just saw the goggles. I saw the metal arm and I was like, okay, whatever. It's really cool looking. So if I had the chance to have a metal arm, I would put a metal arm. I would get a metal arm. Stark's version in this weird alternate timeline, Stark, it's really creepy. It's like this version of Stark is really creepy. They interrogate these people anyway. It failed. They failed. Suddenly we have Morgana Le Fay showing up with a bunch of Doom bots, like, from out of nowhere.
I forgot how late she shows up in the series. Like, once again, maybe this is one of those memory things and just her being completely erased by the Age of Ultron movie. Like, for some reason, I thought that maybe it was just way ahead of time, but yeah, not until what is this, issue 5, 6?
Oh, this is issue 6,
8,
I think.
or
let me see. This is when they were being interrogated. So this is issue 8. Holy shit.
8, yeah.
Jeez.
So there's a lot of splash pages in this that take up a lot of space.
Which I loved the splash pages in this issue a lot, actually.
Like, this is one of my favorite pages when we see these two giant helicarriers just being destroyed and landing forcibly on the city, on top of the city, and you can see when you get closer, you can see a bunch of little dots, and you realize, like, oh shit, those are people. It's like, oh damn. Like, when you see that, you go like, oh no. It's really disturbing, like, when you think about it that way. Like,
So I'm gonna make a horrible kind of comment here. Bryan Hitch draws the worst Emma Frost I've ever seen.
Right. Like, most conservative, maybe, like conservatively dressed, which I mean, like, kind of, but yeah, I agree. It feels toned down for Emma, and even though she's so extra, it's like toned down for her is still extra for anyone else, but definitely, yeah, conservative. I don't like it.
Professor X looks like Lex Luthor. Like, I don't know. Like, and again, this is like a quibble, but like, I've just got that like weird. Stay home.
Okay. I am home.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay, I am home.
Good to go.
So the war went to shit again. This didn't work, obviously. The Avengers in the future, it didn't work, obviously. So what does Wolverine decides to do? Because Stark puts that shit in his head that, he could create a
butterfly effect,
a virus that
too. Yeah.
Go back, and when he goes back, you should have told him to put a fail-safe, a virus or something that would activate with time. So Wolverine decides to go back and try to stop himself from doing it, and that's when we have the two Wolverines talking in front of Pym, and Pym is about to have a mental breakdown. And I like that Wolverine goes like, dude, it's not that difficult to understand, okay? It's happening. This is happening. Get it?
You've done it before.
And Pym is like, what? It's like, stop it. you know what's happening. It is happening. Look at us. You know it's real. It's like
the part I love is him with his hands on his cheeks going, oh, what is going on? What is this?
I mean, mind you, he has three nasty cuts in his stomach. You know, when he's trying to change here, you can see it. He has like these nasty cuts in his stomach. Like they're pretty gnarly, you know.
I mean, like, why did I take mushrooms? Like, why is this happening?
But I like this interaction a lot, and then she comes in. This lady, right?
Yeah, they have that dialogue. He's like, "Were you gonna stop me?" She's like, "Yeah," and he goes, "No, you weren't."
No. It's like, yeah, like, well, you're here to stop me, and the other one's like, no, she was not going to stop you. It's like, it's not. This was going to fail, dude. It's not going to end the way you want it to end. And then we're back in the Savage Land, and this is my favorite part of the whole book. When the two Wolverines,
when he sticks them in between the ears,
when they go back to and the Wolverine, the yellow one, goes and says to Sue, "Hey, give us a minute," and they go back and it's like, so you know what's gonna happen, right? And it's like, yeah. It's like, who is it going to be? Because both Wolverines can't stay, you know. One of them has to go, obviously. So it's like, it has to be me. And it goes like, why? The older one, the one that's now dressed in yellow. He's like, I've seen too much. You know, I don't want to live with this shit, you know. And he just was, you know what to do? Yep. And he kills himself. And that shit fucked me up, you know? And he says, this thing is going to give me fucking PTSD or some shit, you know? It's like, and the Wolverine goes like, yeah, you know? And Sue is alone in a corner like, hello? Like, hello? Just waiting that Wolverine kills himself.
Well, Hank's building Ultron, and then it goes like, what? Dada.
Right? Yeah, something that I like that they mentioned before. It's like he is if he can do it, he feels like he has to do it. You know, if I can invent this thing that is going to potentially help us and help humanity, I have to do it. You know, like I have to do it. So no matter what, he has to create Ultron. You know, he feels like. And later on, we see he's talking and say, I know what I did wrong. I know how I can fix this, you know, which proves what he says. He feels like he needs to do it. He will find a way to anyways do it, you know.
The next issue, we have Hank Pym's at his lab and he's talking in formulas and then gets a ping and he's like, I don't have pings. And like, open your door. He goes out there and he finds the video of himself in the past talking to him now, where like, hey, you did something bad. You're not going to remember this, but hey, I built the back door into him.
Which, like, looking back, it felt, I don't know, just cheesy. It felt like I've seen this a million times before. And maybe it's because I've seen it million times since then, but it just felt like what's the cheapest way out of this that isn't the character wakes up and it's all a dream.
It's all a dream.
They Bill and Tedded it, where they're like, hey, let's go in the past and remind ourselves to leave a key in this.
I mean,
so we go back to the.
I did thought that the ending was pretty cool, the way they play it, because we go, like you were saying, we go back to the beginning and we replay this whole battle with Ultron that we witnessed at the beginning of the story, but it obviously ends differently because Pym cheated and and put a backdoor into his program.
And he further cheats by knowing that Ultron was going to realize what he was doing, that it was going to actually start coding differently.
Yeah. So he anticipated even Ultron's move. I felt like I liked it the first time that I read it. I enjoyed it the second time that I read the ending. I'm talking about the ending specifically, but I do see what you guys see. You know, like it's like it's kind of easy way out.
It's still great, but it's still like an interesting thing. But I think, going back and reading it, it felt a little bit different. But that could 100% be because I'm skewed because of the movies now.
Yeah.
The universe starts rattling.
Oh, I like that a lot.
It's it's kind of like staticky,
like a time quake.
Yeah. That was pretty cool because we see a bunch of versions of these characters in these different panels. Like,
Yep.
And that's when we get to Miles Morales going across the. Hey, Anika.
Hello.
How are you? I've been seeing Anika everywhere. She was just on with the Comics in Queens the other day. Friends of our show always. Also, I want to shout out Sheena for the last episode for Beta Ray Bill, which ended up becoming super dirty halfway through.
Surprise!
Yeah. So Miles Morales spinning, and then all of a sudden, there's Galactus's big fucking purple head.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Which that's all we have to do. Like, Galactus is.
He's like Darkseid. Darkseid is.
Yeah, Galactus is.
Galactus hungers.
But the biggest panel was...
And this is what Jen was waiting for.
Angela with a giant fucking alien head. She's like, I don't know who did this, but
somebody's gonna pay.
Yeah.
You know what I like you know what I like about that page, that there's just blood everywhere. You know, you can tell where she comes from.
And by the way, there was a 10-year fight between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman over this, where finally they were like, you know what? Neither of you are gonna own this.
Yeah. Well, I thought that it did go to Neil Gaiman, but then he decided to give it to Marvel.
Yeah, he sold it to Marvel as part of his contract. Around this time, he did the Eternals miniseries that he wrote. That I wanted to like that series so much. It's
there were some interesting parts to it.
Yes.
I'm always like weird about the Eternals. Like, I don't hate them, but I don't love them. And their cheesy power of becoming the Unimind, where they're a giant fucking brain with a face. Like, I don't know. But Jack Kirby, they fucked. So, like, I have trouble reading that book. And then he goes and does the New Gods and gets fired from his own book from DC. That he created every character.
Right.
After how many issues? Like...
It was 10, maybe. Like, it was enough, but like still, like, god damn, Jack Kirby did so much for this damn industry. And
dude, for real.
Yes.
Comics will break your heart. That is true.
I've also heard you might love comics, but they'll never love you back.
Ooh, yeah. Yep.
That hurts.
It's true.
Me.
Any passion you have, like, you may love it, but it won't love you back.
That is true. You know,
it's an abusive relationship.
It is. It took me, when I read this the first time, it took me by surprise because I was not expecting Angela to be at the end of this book, and I thought it was completely out of nowhere. So I was a little bit upset about it, but at the same time, I was like, okay, let's see where this is going.
But Aaron was like, give me
yeah.
But I have not read anything where she's at. No, lies. I've read maybe a few Thor books where has shown up at some.
Her limited series was really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was very well done.
Asgard's
Jen probably likes it more than I do, but like,
yeah, because there was what is it? Asgard's Assassin.
Yes,
and then there was the Queen of Hell with Stephanie Hans, and then like I think the most recent place she showed up has been just Guardians of the Galaxy. And she did there was a MODOK Assassin. You should, if you like Angela, you should read MODOK Assassin.
Oh, Angela was in it?
Yep.
Oh. I did not even know that. Did you ever get your J.H. Williams framed?
No, not yet. I need to though.
My Tula Lotay print with Remark is showing up this week.
What is that from?
I'm getting the Wonder Woman from the Wonder Woman Black and Gold.
Oh,
Okay.
Sweet. Nice.
Like she sold the prints and they had a remark, and I didn't realize I bought the remark. And now it's showing up, and I'm like, all right, well, I love Tula Lotte, so this is okay. The same site had all these Christian Ward prints too.
Ooh.
Cadence Select. It was $25 for his Zatanna, and I'm like, I might need to get that.
I think that was there like a Magneto print that he did? Hey.
I remember that issue. Yes, I remember.
Her and Freya are teamed up now, which is awesome.
I saw that. I remember reading that issue. That was the last story issue I read. I have like 4 more after that. They're waiting for me.
I will say Donny Cates' Hulk has been weirdly interesting.
It's actually, yes, I've been enjoying it.
Very meta.
I've been enjoying it.
Catching up on that one.
I know you need to be out at an hour, and we're at that. So what is your pick for next month?
So my pick for next month, maybe this is just me like kind of doing what's on the news or was on the news, but I want to read Mouse. I don't have my copy of it right here, but I want to read Mouse.
This is interesting because I've always wanted to read it and I've never read it before, so this is a great opportunity to read it.
I'm kind of like, there's a double-edged sword because I'm like, I know right now it's probably really hard to find if you don't have a physical copy of it, because it's sold out like everywhere, but there's so many people that I know who just haven't read it. So
it's good.
That's awesome. I may have to ask Chris, Chaos and Comics, to be on for that.
Yeah.
TM Nerdy also wanted to be on for your pick. So
sweet. So next show is going to be really lit.
It's gonna be deep. I read Mouse years ago, and yes, exactly what. It's a brutal read, but it's very important. And I still don't understand that book of all the books that you're gonna try and ban. Like,
well, I mean, it's because the book actively talks against fascism, and the people trying to ban it, like low-key, love it.
Low-key? They're not low-key about it.
They're not. No, they're not. They're very.
They're not low-key
that and
Persepolis.
Persepolis are probably 2 of my favorite biographical.
Yeah.
Persepolis in particular, I loved, and the animated movie they did of it was fucking fantastic.
I watched the animated movie.
I'm not familiar with it.
It's growing up in Muslim society. Mouse was assigned. I actually remember my senior year in high school. One of the classes I was in had us read it.
That's pretty cool.
AP History.
That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to read it, but back then we couldn't get it. Where the store that I was buying my comic books couldn't get it. You know, it was very limited what we could get.
I'm pretty sure it's available digital at least.
Yeah.
So like, if we have to. Also, I have a question to ask you. How is have you heard anything about where your friend Tom Beelan's next book is going, or how it's going?
It's going. I get updates of the pages. I think he finally finished drawing those pages. They're beautiful, like legit beautiful pages.
Because that actually ended up being the biggest surprise for the series, for our book club, that we all ended up loving. Yes, Chicacabra. Check it out. It is coming of age book, staged in Puerto Rico and the island life, and there is a lot of food talk. They love their food in this.
Yeah. I remember he was talking about that, about the that if he ever made a show, that the food was going to be a very important part of the show. Like, he wanted that to be very important.
So anybody wanting to read it, I ended up getting mine at in stock trades. It was like $9.99. So they might still have copies there, but it is a giant book for $9.99.
Because yours has because the series itself is 10 issues, but there's a couple of tie-ins, but not all of them are included in this. Is that right? In this?
Yes. They're so honestly, like that was one of our favorite books of last year.
Okay, so we're talking. One is talking about Age of Ultron, and Danny's still talking about
Chicacabra.
Oh, I'm talking about Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. I had to buy digitally, and that was $25.
Okay.
But what you said is true, Jennifer. It has some tie-ins. It doesn't have all of them, but it has the important ones. I got my copy at Ollie's for $12.
Dang.
Yes.
They only seem to have Marvel and DC.
Yes.
There, which
super
I get.
cheap.
Also, I don't know if I announced it last time. Jen has somehow managed to last 2 years on the show as part of our panel. It's about 2 months late.
Somehow managed. Haven't been out yet.
Well, yeah, I remember when you joined, you're like, you're gonna kick me out. It's gonna happen.
We were thinking more like that. You were gonna walk out, because it's not easy handling us.
At some point, I may have to ask you to come on to the Celluloid and Scotch. I'm kicking around trying to get you and Cindy on to finally talk The Lighthouse.
Yes. Oh my God. So
a deep dive
with Jen. The other day I was at work and we were talking about the Batman movie, and someone at work was like, yeah, and she was like, I really want to go and see it. My boy Robert Pattinson's in it. And she said something about like Twilight, and I'm like, yo, have you watched The Lighthouse? And she's like, no, but I've been told that so many times. And another coworker looks at me and she's like, The Lighthouse, really? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, he gives a really good performance. And she's like, with the mermaid. And I'm like, and she's never watched our show. So I didn't make the signal in front of her, but like, yeah, the mermaid.
the cloaca.
Cloaca, the mermaid cloaca. But yeah, I would love to talk about The Lighthouse, because if it would give me like a reason to watch it again.
Yes. And I know Cynthia like thinks it's a comedy.
If you watch it as a comedy,
it's not a comedy.
Yes, it is.
In my opinion, no. But there's some comedic moments that happen because Willem Dafoe is.
I mean, he's Willem Dafoe, It's Willem Dafoe.
So the 8th, John's Comics with Kids, Bearded Comic Bro, Fire Guy Ryan are joining me on my channel with Carlito, and we are talking Batman Mask of the Phantasm because we found out that Fire Guy Ryan had never watched an animated anything of Batman.
Oh wow!
That doesn't surprise me. I don't see him watching a lot of animated stuff, but yeah.
So we got him to watch it, and then he's like, "Well, the show's not happening now. I'm gonna have to watch it again." Because John was like, "You haven't watched the best Batman movie,
dude?
That
is the second best Batman movie, okay? But
all of the animated stuff just hits better,
right?
Very much so. But Paul Dini wrote a book about when he was coming back from an award show and he got the shit beat out of him by muggers, called One Dark Night.
Yes, it is a really good book.
Yes, it's just hard to read because
it is
you
hard
go
to
through his trauma and everything else, and really as someone in therapy, like I figured that wouldn't bother me, but it still bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So Jen, you got to go to your burlesque show.
I do. I've got a burlesque show. I'm not mine. I'm not performing. A show that I bought tickets to.
Get drunk enough. You never know what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Get truly wasted.
Thing is that like I've told people before, like I don't need to like get drunk and do shit like karaoke. Like 100% like karaoke is just kind of fun to do, even though I'm like shit at it. But I don't think you'd ever have to get me drunk enough. But anyways,
what's your go-to song?
What would be my go-to song? Yeah. Let me think. It's been
I have one.
We did do the last time that I did karaoke, it was punk rock karaoke, and there's a band behind you playing it. And then like I was singing, but I ended up doing whole what song was it by Hole? I can't remember,
Celebrity
but it was.
Skin.
It may have been Celebrity Skin. Yeah. I was drunk at the time, even though I don't have to be.
It's the only time to do it.
Yeah,
No.
but that would be my go-to song. My partner and I also sing Jackson by Johnny Cash and Loretta Lynn.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh, not by Alice Cooper?
No, just Never Trust a Big Butt and a Smile. That girl is poison.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Okay.
My go-to is Rebel Yell. But Jen, it was really nice chatting with you for a little bit and seeing you. Go have fun at your burlesque show tonight that you're not performing, sadly.
No. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Bye,
guys.
But
bye.
Nice seeing you.
Bye.
All right. Well, this was an episode.
Dude.
So if you were going to recommend some kind of like super crossover like this, what is your...
Oh my God, a super crossover.
Like, what would you recommend? Because I know what mine is.
What would yours be? Because I whenever if it's just a crossovers, I have so many that I would major events.
I'm looking for behind me.
Fatal Attractions is one of them. I just love Fatal Attraction for some reason. I know that reason. It's because Magneto pulls the adamantium out of Wolverine's body through the pores of his skin. That's why I love that book so much. It's brutal. But House of M, Secret Invasion, I think even World War Hulk. I love that one. The Secret Wars from 2015 was a great book. I love that Secret Wars so much.
The Secret Wars, though, with Delato art, though, I really liked, even though that was just a little limited series that had minor crossovers, but I love Delato's art and the fact he did actual interiors.
Yes. I was expecting more out of that series. It wasn't what I was expecting, so I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was a good one. But it's just
the Nick Fury files I loved more than anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, almost any Crisis. Of course. Dude, be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Yes. I love George Perez way too much. I grew up with George Perez. Yes, we do. And if I recall, mine is signed. Where I got the single issue signed. I thought I had George.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is not this one. I actually got the single issues. Oh, yes. I make no secret, George, growing up, was one of my favorite artists. And Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh yeah,
another great one.
I just finished an animated video to send him. That I will send it to you later so you see it. I animated. I was going to send a video, but I can't send a video. I can't seem to get it to record. So I animated what I wanted to say. I animated it, and I'm going to send it to him tomorrow. Hopefully, tomorrow I'll finish it and send it.
Donna Troy, probably my favorite creation by him. I always liked Wonder Girl. He gave us Disco Nightwing.
Disco Nightwing.
And
this is one of my favorite books. This is one book I would like to talk about at some point.
I missed out on getting that.
Dude, this was really difficult. This is apparently was not easy to find. It's not easy to find, I'm actually very lucky that I got this copy.
Scalpers took it really fast.
Yeah, they took it really fast. Fucking scalpers.
Because I saw them on eBay for like $60.
So I saw them for like $300.
Well, this is early on. I kind of.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Also, I'd say House of X.
Yes, That's I've still been enjoying. I mean, at least all the way up to Hellfire Gala. I've been and the few issues that I read after that, I'm still enjoying the X-Men stuff a lot, way more than I thought I was going to enjoy.
It gets a little strange after he leaves, when Hickman left the book.
Yeah, I think I'm reaching that point right now when he leaves the book. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind that Hickman left, and we're probably going to be headed in a different direction. But so far, it's been fun.
Annihilation wasn't bad.
I haven't read Annihilation.
It brought the cosmic characters back, which had been kind of in long recession, and it gave us the current Guardians of the Galaxy team that went to the movies.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's what brought Rocket and all of them together, and they basically went and turned around and made that, and they kind of made Annihilus a badass.
No, so no, I haven't read that one. I have to.
It's very decent. Like even Thanos had his own side book where he was kind of fighting them. Silver Surfer. What is another one that I really liked? I liked Infinite Crisis, and then the Identity Crisis with all its spin-offs. We did Identity Crisis 2 years ago before Jen joined.
Yes. Still one of my favorite books.
And for anybody who doesn't know the art of Rags Morales, which I think is a very slept upon artist.
For real.
Read that book. He does, I think, in my opinion, the best work of his career.
In that book? Oh yeah, easy.
100%. And like it's just A-game stuff. Infinite Crisis, you have the art of Philomenes, which Philomenes will be the first person to tell you that George Perez was the biggest influence on his career and life.
But you can see it in his work.
Very much so.
Oh, you can see it. You can see it in his work.
I actually didn't know I was sitting down at lunch with him when I was working for a comic shop.
Oh wow!
I saw some of my coworkers eating with someone, and my boss at the comic shop was like, "Hey, what do you think of Philomenes?" I was like, "Greatest George Perez imitator I've ever seen." And he was sitting there, and he was like, "Thank you." And it was just before he was doing his Blue Beetle Maxwell Lord story in the Pre-Identity Crisis one shot.
Yes.
Which was like a James Bond book. And he started telling me the premise of the story, and I was like, that's fascinating. And then I sat down and started reading it, and Philomenes is one of the great art. He doesn't put out as much as I'd like. He just did the Kelly Sue DeConnick Historia Wonder Woman book.
Yes, which is incredibly beautiful.
Yes. And you can tell he was able to take his time working on the book.
Yeah. Which is,
He also, in New 52, Justice League, Dark Side War, I think it was issue 50, did a 2-page spread, which was the greatest George Perez homage, where he had, I want to say, about 37 characters on the
all
two
of the
pages.
characters, all of the characters possible.
Yes. Go check it out. But Rags Morales, again, a guy I don't think enough people pay attention to, and he kind of disappeared. Like every now and again shows up.
I don't see him in a while.
Hawkman was one of the last books I saw him doing with Jeff Johns was on it.
Oh, the last thing I saw from him was the New 52 Action Comics. He did some.
Okay, yeah, he did some of that. But definitely Identity Crisis would be at the top. Bart Sears back in the day was another artist.
Oh, Bart Sears. I have him on Facebook, and he posts art for sale almost every day, and it's like, man, I hate being poor.
Dan Panosian is another guy who I don't think I appreciated his art when he was doing books on the regular.
Yeah.
But like he puts out these prints and stuff, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And he does Drinks and Draw.
Yes.
So I see that. I would also say Capullo is a guy I think, when given the time and when he's happy with his art, is top notch.
Yeah. Oh, I'm biased. I love his work even when he's not happy with it. I like
I used to see him throw away stuff that he'd be like, I
yeah.
don't like this. I don't like this. I'm just like, God damn.
Yeah.
No.
I'm biased when it comes to him. I see his name on something. I'm like, yes.
Have you been reading Magic Order 2?
I have not.
There's something not right with the book.
Really?
So, like, you know how Magic Order 1, there was just the characters had kind of a charm and they stood out?
Yeah.
I don't feel it in this book. And Koipel's art is missing, and it's weird to say it because I love Immonen. But the vibe feels off, and maybe it's because I'm remembering the first one so much.
Is it written by Miller?
Yes.
Yes. Huh. I saw it.
But the characters I love from the first one aren't being focused. Like Cordelia is barely in it.
I haven't read anything recent by Miller. I think the last Miller book that I read was that Magic Order one.
I think we're on issue 3 or 4 of the Magic Order second series, and I don't know, just it feels off.
Yeah. I'll give it I'm still gonna read it.
Oh, like I'm gonna keep reading it. It's just kind of one of those weird things where I'm like, I don't know, something just feels wrong with it.
Maybe in the next few issues it'll,
I hope so. I don't know how long it is.
Maybe it's throwing you off on purpose.
But I did see the Millar Netflix imprint, and the artists he has for that are fucking insane.
What are you talking about?
So basically, I guess he's making comics of the stuff that he was not able to sell to Netflix.
Oh, that was not able to sell to Netflix. I know Netflix released not long ago Super Crooks. I've been meaning to watch it.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, Super Crooks is on Netflix. Yeah. And the intro is fantastic.
Okay, I have to check that out. So he got one of my all-time favorite artists on it, Travis Charest, who, when Alan Moore was doing
Wildcats.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Travis is
Man knows American Jesus.
I have Travis. He did a Wildcats X-Men book.
Yes, the Wolverine, Zealot,
Captain American one, and Zealot. Yes. Oh my God, what a book! Holy shit, what a book!
The Netflix Millar World imprint for Image Comics, all based on pitches he's made to Netflix, some of which may get made into TV shows and TV films, and some maybe not. He states this year also features projects from Frank Whiteley, Travis Charest, Carl Kerschel, Oliver Coipel, and 2 big steals from Marvel and DC.
Oh, I wonder who he stole from Marvel and DC.
I don't know, but
big steal.
Whiteley, Travis Charest, and Coipel, like that alone. So Travis Charest hasn't done American comics except for a couple of covers for X-Men.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Travis started this book like 6 years ago, so maybe it'll be ready soon.
There is some art they show on this.
I'm implying that he works really slow. That's what I'm implying.
Yes, and he'd probably be the first one, but they show a little bit.
What's that? Oh, that's insane. So you're gonna have to send me that link because I want to be able to see
just Bleeding Cool and then Travis Charest, and you'll pull it right up.
Yeah. Right.
Unfortunately, it's on my phone and not my iPad, so I can blow it up huge. But
who did he could have steal from Marvel? Big name from Marvel and DC. What? I mean, not that there's no big names in Marvel and DC, but to say it like that, it has to be a really big name, you know.
I mean, Stegman would probably be one of the bigger from Marvel right now. Because Marvel's art pen isn't exactly at its strongest.
Well, the thing is that I think it's not that it's at its strongest. It's that it's a lot of it looks the same.
Yes,
and that's on purpose. I am 100% sure
it's to make deadlines.
Yeah, that is the new Marvel way to do comics.
Now, if somehow they got J. Scott Campbell to do interiors, that would bring people.
Yes,
not going to happen, but
because it's different. But yeah, Campbell is at a point where
there's the name.
Pepe Larraz. That's the name I was trying to think of. Jesus,
yes.
Thank you. That's the name I was
that would be a big get for them.
That is a
huge
that
get.
Is a big name. Thank you.
Now
Thank
from
you
DC, I mean Jorge Molina, who's been doing Batman.
Jorge Molina.
Riccardo Federici.
Who's
doing the painted books.
What's the name of this Jimenez one? That's not Phil Jimenez. There's another Jimenez.
That's Jorge Jimenez.
I think it's Jorge. Yes, I think.
Yeah, he's the only other one I could think of, but he seems pretty ingrained on Batman right now.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was doing Batman. Oh yes,
that's he's still doing Batman.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm doing Batman, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna leave no matter who calls me. I'm doing.
It's too much money.
You have to.
Now, if he got Lee Bermejo,
now we're talking.
Yeah, I'm there for it.
Now we're talking. Yes, but Pepe Larraz it's one of my one of my current favorites right now.
So gonna call it a day on this. One, I have to go to the bathroom, and
no, it's okay. 1 hour and a half. It's a good time.
Yeah. So we will be back next month with Mouse.
Yes, with Mouse.
Which it's gonna be a heavy episode. So just warning everybody now. But if you could find your copies, join us for it.
Yes, please.
And thank you for tuning in and being in the. Oh shit! Yes.
Oh shit! What?
Pacheco, who's been doing Daredevil for the past 2 years.
That'd
That'd be another good get.
Marco Chechero.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good pull.
Yes, that's great. Holy shit.
Okay. So
who is this dude? Why have I not seen his work before? I don't read it.
He's awesome.
Holy mother of
he's been doing Chip Zdarsky, the Daredevil series, and then
come on,
good stuff.
I don't need another book to read.
No, just pick up the trades.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so we're gonna get going. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next month.
Bye, guys.